Despite considering myself a horror enjoyer, my experience with Junji Ito is limited to his adaptation of No Longer Human. The reason for this? I'm actually not good with gore, like, at all. But Wendigoon told me to, so I have to. I sat through 3 books of Italian fanfiction for this guy. A Few Scary Stories is nothing in comparison. Uzumaki. Probably the most famous one and a brutal one to start with. It was good and gory as fuck. I'm really hoping this is the worst one because honestly, this was already way past my limit. If you know Junji Ito, I'm assuming you're laughing at me right now. It is beyond me why Kirie didn't believe Soichi. Okay, sure, bro's a little upset over his dad dying, but all that happens and it still takes half the book to believe him. I'd be out of there at the first suggestion. Now's the time to introduce this video's highly objective ranking system. This chart thing. Scariness goes horizontally, enjoyedness goes vertically. Make sense? Cool. Tomie. So I clearly had no idea what Tomie was about. I was expecting a pretty girl does murder type of thing, not an infinitely regenerating demon chick. That one drawing of Tomie isn't even from the manga, it's fan art. Honestly, I didn't enjoy this that much, nor did I find it particularly scary. Let's put her in the center of the cross to ward away the demons. Go. This was a ride. The start was totally fine. Just some silly fish with legs, no issues. The introduction of the disease was disgusting, and I started to get a little scared. That fear was immediately put to rest at the time skip, however. There was just so much ass. Like actually just bare ass everywhere. I did not need to see that and I will never unsee it. I could not take this one seriously at all. Also, I don't know why I remember this, but you know a heist with Markiplier? I get the joke now. Remina. I hate it. I hate all of it. The tongue? Hate it. The stitching? Hate it. This needs to be changed. That feels better. To be fair, the story is actually pretty good. Black Paradox. After how violently ill the last one made me, this was a welcome change of pace. Not super gory and only gave me a minor existential crisis. So far, this was also the most coherent story. Really enjoyed it. Cat Diary. This might have been the most shocking one yet because it was a comedy. Take any panel out of context and I will never be able to look at my cat the same. But in context, it's absolutely hilarious. This was a nice break. Censor. This managed to hit 2 things I hate. Eyes and squishing stuff. So it's going up the gross end. I like the idea of this, but it seems a bit undercooked. At this point, my biggest takeaway from Ito's works is that he's either way too into hair or he absolutely hates it. No Longer Human. Enjoyed is not the right word, but I thought it was a good adaptation. It changes a fair bit from the book, but I don't think it makes it better or worse. I just think it works for what it is. I wouldn't say this is gross or scary, more so incredibly damaging to my mental well-being. Frankenstein. I actually like the change of the other monster being made more compared to not in the original. The gross art adds a lot to the story too. Solid adaptation. Honestly, I think I enjoyed it more than the original, but I would have to read the book again to find out, which I can't be bothered to do. I'd read this again though, which maybe says enough. Mimi's Tales of Terror. Poor girl was going through it. Ladies, if you're ever being tormented by the supernatural, at least have a boyfriend who believes you. And I don't know, the guy who was turning the grave seemed pretty chill. I don't think they really needed to call the police on him. From here is all collections of short stories. Trying to review a bunch of one-shots at once will be interesting, but I'll do my best. Shiver. I don't think I will ever be the same after reading the Grease chapter. Other than that, this was pretty fine. A couple shark teeth, big foreheads, and a human centipede, but not in the way you're thinking, are manageable. Though seeing Tomie again did make me think I'd been cursed for a second. Flesh-colored horror. Despite the name, it was very much still black and white. Once again, why hair, Ito? Why? I only liked the story about the marriage. The others were all pretty boring, really. Dissolving Classroom. This one actually had a consistent plot for the most part. I was calling it soup from the first chapter, but I didn't expect I'd actually be right. The tongue was probably the grossest thing about this, but it wasn't too bad. Love Sickness. She was insane, but I love her mindset. I need to get myself into progressively bigger problems. So I'll start with an affair, then to top that, I'm gonna murder a kid, and then to top that, I'm gonna get a lot of tattoos. Makes sense. I was really enjoying this until the last story. It was shit. Venus in the Blind Spot. I wasn't expecting adaptations of Rampo shorts to show up here. I can never escape. Human Chair and Unearthly Love were fitting choices, sure, but honestly not the most horrifying things he could have picked from Rampo's catalogue. I thought I would never have to feel the same pain Remina put me through again, but but here we are. The tongue, hate it. The stitching, hate it. Disgusting. The liminal zone. It was super short, but all the stories were pretty high quality. Visually, nothing super disgusting other than spirit people licking each other, I guess. I don't have much to say about this one. It was super chill. Soichi. You know what? I'm iron deficient. I should try using nails as teeth. I'm sure that'll help. Great idea. He replaced his teachers with Muppets and people weren't 100% sure that something was wrong. Look at this guy run! I like the idea that Soichi is just emo as fuck and anything remotely supernatural that happened had nothing to do with him. Smashed. I'm pissed at this for showing me Soichi and the shark teeth swamp model lady ending up together only to tell me it was just a dream. Honestly, the cat isn't even a demon or anything. Pat them the wrong way and they'll just do that to you. Trust me, I know. The non-emo child related stories were also really good. Thoroughly enjoyed this one. Tombs. While I was trying to find a copy of this, I read that Slug Girl is one of Ito's more popular one-shots. Which, why? That was disgusting? I think I've discovered that I'm actually super disturbed by tongues. I didn't think this one was particularly interesting overall. Deserter. God, some of these were really old. Ito's art has improved a lot, though I'm not quite sure that's a good thing. Look at the horrors I've had to witness. Having said that, the scariest part of this was a woman dressing up like she did when she was a kid, so super chill. Fragments of horror. The red turtleneck was brutal. Some of these have made me gag, sure, but this one in particular causes me actual pain. I can feel my neck in a way I don't want to. And then the very next story, where she kept dreaming of her dad dying, I actually cried. This was a brutal one to end on in a completely different way to how this video started. Let's say that's like a metaphor for this journey or something. And that's it. Looking at my completely objective diagram, it looks as though Junji Ito's stuff wasn't all as gross as I thought it would be. Or maybe I just got desensitized to it real quick. I know I missed a couple, but allow it please. Critique my opinions respectfully in the comments. Thank you for your time.